A blockbuster round 26 continues as the finals race is only getting hotter as the end of season draws near, and plenty of eyes will be on proceedings today at Valentine Sports Park, with Chasing Pack keeping a close eye on Sydney FC, who currently occupy that crucial 6th position, and with teams all the way down to 13th that are still in with a shout at making finals, including Sydney's opponents today, Blacktown City, who with a win would draw within 2 points of entering the top 6. It's NPL New South Wales men's match day as Blacktown City host Sydney FC. Will Constantinides here for you for Football New South Wales, and it's a very pretty Sunday afternoon in Sydney's northwest. Barely a cloud in the sky, and makes for a match day that doesn't feel like we're in early August at all. And so without any further delay, let's get you straight into the team. You're starting first with Blacktown City. A massive inclusion for them is the return of Travis Major. His 11 goals lead Blacktown City this season, and he has scored some massive goals, not just to get them up the table, but for a large portion of the season where they were stuck in 15th, it was his goals that allowed them to navigate that tough period. So a couple of changes from the side that defeated Wollongong Wolves down on the coast by 2-0 last weekend. It's Travis Major coming in, as is Jack O'Brien. Those are two men that certainly know how to find the back of the net. Here is how Mark Crittenden lines up his team. In goal is number 20, Cooper Rogers. Number 3 is Lockie Tilt. Number 4, Nick O'Brien. Number 6, Adam Berry. Number 7, Travis Major. Number 8, Jack O'Brien. Number 11, Kodai Tanaka. Number 14, Mitch Malia. Number 15, Caleb Jackson Brown. Number 27, Nathan Grimaldi. And number 45, Alu Kuol. As for Jimmy Van Weer and Sydney FC, as mentioned, they occupy that highly coveted 6th position. And they know that if they don't get a result here today, they may well fall out of that. Manly, of course, in action against Rockdale at the same time. If Sydney FC were to lose and Manly were to win, it would be Manly United that would leapfrog them into that finals position. And it's been somewhat of a form slide for the academy side. 2 games without scoring a goal, but they also haven't conceded a goal. Back-to-back 0-0 draws coming into today's fixture for the young boys in Sky Blue. And they make 2 changes with Zach Fowler and Corey Cronin coming into the team in place of Sam Lancaster and Lockie Middleton. Here is how Jimmy Van Weeren lines up his team. Number 5 is William Pizzuti. Number 9 is Zach Fowler. Number 10, Ty Headley. Number 15, Zinedine Ardiansaya. Number 16, Miles Miller. Number 19, Mitch Glasson. Number 24, Dion Negro. Number 30, Alex Zavadinos. Number 33, Myron France. Number 34 is Tyler Williams. And number 47 is Corey Cronin. And so underway as Blacktown City are looking to get started nice and early. Have turned into one of the form sides of the competition, and they have all the momentum behind them right now. There's a couple of teams that are coming into this final month of the regular season with the wind in their sails. Blacktown City are certainly one of them, as is probably Manly United. You put in that mix as well, with a good spell of form that's seen them climb from the lower reaches of the table right into contention. And not too many would have thought a month ago that Blacktown City would have been in with a shout of finals. Certainly survival would have been on their mind, but they've more or less secured that. They are 11 points away from 15th coming into today's game. Blacktown City, a win or a draw will almost mathematically secure it. Their superior goal difference will get them there. A win will make it a mathematic certainty that they'll be safe from the Pro-Rel playoff. Well, they have much brighter things to think about than that right now. This feels like a true final 6-pointer as Blacktown start to move the ball. Of course, not at Landon Stadium today. This is nominally their home fixture. Here is Lockie Tilt. Now Jackson Brown is being heavily pressed as Sydney FC now make their move. Grimaldi and Tilt exchange passes. And Tilt is forced to go long in search of Alu Kuol, who does have good speed to get there and gets a touch, but that does mean it will be a Sydney FC throw. And what an inclusion Alu Kuol has been into Mark Crittenden's team. Has given them that extra bit of firepower up top to go with Travis Major and Mitch Marley that have scored so many of their goals. It's also pushed Malia into a slightly wider role. There were times this season where Malia and Major were playing as the front two. Mark Crittenden has move the magnets throughout the season to try and get the best out of his team. As the referee gets in the way of Adam Berry, and so we'll see what happens after that. Berry was going up for a header, of course. The referee just making it a little awkward for the Blacktown City midfielder. Lining up alongside Nick O'Brien in the base of midfield with Travis Major and Mitch Malia on the wings. Jack O'Brien and Alu Qual, the central options. And Caleb Jackson-Brown, who is also more of a natural central midfielder, now playing at right back, where you see him there. Qual holding it up nicely for City. Here is Tilt. Rogers. And Tilt again. A darting pass forward to Qual. The bounce is a little awkward for Jack O'Brien, and so Sydney FC regain possession. Blacktown City are doing a good job of shutting them down, and now Mitch Malia has found some space to work with. Has spotted Major in green pastures on the left. Major being overlapped by Kodai Tanaka. Tanaka's first time cross is flicked on towards Jack O'Brien. And that did take a deflection. But Blacktown City are moving the ball nicely to start. They've been on some run recently at Blacktown City. They are 3 straight wins into today's game, including an unbeaten run of 4. And their attack has always been there this season. That's been no surprise. It's been the defensive consistency that they've really added as the year has gone on. The inclusion of James Nikolowski was big for that, but he seems to have now departed the club. Has signed in Gibraltar. Something from the training ground for Mark Crittenden. Jack O'Brien, low-driven cross. Alu Qual was up to try and get that. Major puts it back into the mix. Qual is lurking, and Sydney FC are able to get that away from the Blacktown danger man. Glasson has to hold it up and does well to get past the first defender, and now Sydney FC might think about going forward themselves here. Battling for possession. Grimaldi can't quite get it clear, but now City find themselves out of trouble. It's a very open start in these first 5 minutes. And Nick O'Brien takes a look up and does see room for Mitch Malia. Possession certainly favouring the hosts at the moment. And they'll just slow it down and use their defenders. Grimaldi driving forward out of the back 4, just taking the space that Sydney FC are willing to give him. They're sitting off a little bit at the moment. Tanaka, high arcing cross. It's not cleared away. Malia has the second ball. Guardian Sire. And eventually Sydney FC get that away, but Jimmy Van Weeren side finding it difficult at the moment to compete with Blacktown City. They played out a very entertaining game earlier in the season. The Elandon Sports Centre, it was 2-2 between Sydney and Blacktown. Blacktown actually led that game 2-0, and 2 goals in the last 10 minutes for Sydney snatched away a point. Grimaldi. Berry out to Tanaka. Jack O'Brien is making a run, but that pass is headed away, and now that's awkward by Zavadinos. Qual was going up for it with him. Qual, meanwhile, is not back to his feet. Zavadinos was feeling that he was fouled, and the potential head knock to Alu Qual has meant that the game will need to be stopped, but again, Sydney FC don't do themselves any favours defending. Miles Milliner is over across to check on Alu Qual. Qual hasn't been at Blacktown City very long, but already has 2 goals to his name. Has scored in his last 2 outings, so comes into this one in good shape. certainly turned a lot of heads to see him sign. Vastly experienced at A-League level with the Mariners and then Western Sydney Wanderers last campaign. Has come to Blacktown City to try and find a bit of form, and Mark Crittenden certainly knows how to get the best out of players, but that's a good ball in behind, and Blacktown might be in trouble, but it's off the post. A massive opportunity. Just one ball in behind for Mitch Glasson, almost unlocking the defence. And now it's Blacktown's turn to go through the gears as foul is committed. But there's a laser pass towards Mitch Glasson, and Cooper Rogers was sort of stuck in between. Malia is dispossessed by Corey Cronin, who just checks back inside looking for a forward option. Blacktown win it in an advanced area. Malia. Tanaka again looking for that pass. He's bombed forward a couple times, Kodai Tanaka. Again, a new inclusion to City this season as now Ty Headley has found space between the lines and keeps this attack moving. Early delivery in search of Zach Fowler. It's headed as far as Travis Major. Good touch by Negro to unlock Glasson, and now Glasson gets it back again. And the referee said there was enough of the ball in that challenge. As now Blacktown City go forward. They do have numbers if they want to use them. Game already so stretched in the first 10 minutes. Blacktown do have to be careful that as they go forward, they don't commit too many, because Sydney FC are more than capable around that edge of the area. Tilt. To split open the defence. It's read by Sydney FC. Jack O'Brien under heavy pressure. No foul. There was a foul. It was a late whistle as Zach Fowler had to go from range. Thought the referee just needed a second look at it before deciding. As Blacktown City get us underway again. Even though there is a disparity in the ladder between these two teams, there's an argument to be made that Blacktown City are the more favoured side coming into today. They're certainly in better form. And don't be fooled by the fact that they are 5 ladder places behind Sydney FC. That sort of undersells how close these mid-table teams are. It's Corey Cronin to take this throw, just asking for a bit of help. Major, an important touch to get Alu Kuol involved in the game. Sydney lose out, Marin France. It's important to mention that a lot of these Sydney FC players are fresh off that outing against Tottenham midweek, having to come back down to life in the NPL again after playing a Premier League side. And there's Ty Headley. Looking for Mitch Glasson. Grimaldi allows that to bounce. Clearance doesn't find a Blacktown player, so Sydney FC still have possession, but I sense this might be a rare opportunity just to get the ball to feet again. They've been playing very direct to start. There's Dion Negro. Now Tyler Williams. Negro again. Looking for Zinedine Nadiansaya, but pass was too hot to handle, and so Blacktown might think about this counter-attack, but that was too far ahead of Travis Major to reach him. And so Blacktown can set up in their shape again. You'll see they've operating in this 4-2-3-1 at the moment, with O'Brien sitting behind Alu Kual. They've been a bit disrupted this season, Blacktown City. Various players coming in and out of the squad at different times. Jack O'Brien is one of them. And even with the 3 big new signings they made with Sasha Kozewski, James Nikolowski and Alu Kual, only one of them is out on the pitch and likely to be available for the rest of the season. Kozewski, told, is injured and may not play again this year. And James Nikolowski was recently announced has signed in Gibraltar, which only leaves Alu Kual still here. And Sydney FC try and get forward. Here is Headley. That's a good ball. Glasser took it in stride and had to get it out from under his feet very quickly there, Mitch Glasson. But that's much more like it from Sydney FC. That's what they can do. Loose from Caleb Jackson-Brown. Myron France driving forward, looking for options. That comes in the form of Mitch Glasson. Glasson. Jackson-Brown trying to stay in front of him. Cronin. It's a looping. It's put back into the mixer. It's back with Mitch Glasson. Didn't catch it as sweetly as he wanted to, and that allowed Rogers enough time to get down and make the save. But that's a couple of nice sequences now for Sydney FC that have ended in a dangerous shot, both times for Mitch Glasson. He's, of course, the team's top scorer this year with the 8 goals that he has. Does also captain the side. Grimaldi. You just see Sydney FC happy to sit off a little bit. They'll pick their moments as Kodai Tanaka has picked his time to get forward, but is unable to beat the ball out to the sideline, or the goal line. And so just under 15 minutes gone here at Valentine Sports Park. No surprise, it's been open, it's been entertaining. Both teams will want the 3 points. For Sydney FC, it's to try and stay away from the large and seemingly growing chasing pack of teams that want to crash into the finals. For Blacktown, they know that if they lose today, the gap will increase to 8 points to finals with 4 games to go, which is going to be very hard to track down. Conversely, it will go to 2 with 4 to go, which sounds much more achievable. As Grimaldi commits the foul. Headley. Pizzuti looking to play around the corner. Blacktown City disrupt that move. Rogers searching pass for Jackson-Brown. Does get to his head, and that's a good header to take it forward with him. Has Kual up ahead in support. Jackson-Brown. And still, he was looking for the pass, and they'll restart again with Mitch Malia, but bright signs from Jackson-Brown. Major looking for O'Brien, and Sydney FC, it's an awkward clearance. Kodai Tanaka wins the header, and Alu Kual was inches away from bringing that pass down. Sydney FC are trying to go forward, but they've turned it over in a matter of just a couple of passes. And you can see the intent from Blacktown is to try and play to Alu Kual's aerial prowess. His first goal for Blacktown City was a header against St. George City at home a couple of weeks ago. And does get up quite well, does Kual. Equally, Travis Major is a good option in the air. And it is a bit of a cliche that the younger, less physical academy teams may get beaten, but Sydney FC have been an exceptionally good defence, almost surprisingly good this season. The 34 goals they've conceded so far is the 7th best in the competition. As Jackson-Brown will try and get forward again. Recycle through Zavadinos. And just on just on Sydney FC's defence, they have 11 clean sheets this season, which is the second best in the league, just one behind Sydney United 58. It's remarkable the number of clean sheets they've put together. O'Brien is battling, but the numbers of Sydney FC beat him out. Tilt. Nick O'Brien nodding that down for Kodai Tanaka. Kodai Tanaka has been impressive in his first season at Blacktown City as he tries to link up with Travis Major, but it's Adi Ansaya that has it in midfield for Sydney. Negro. Corey Cronin is in space in this side. If they want to use him, they'll elect not to do so. France. Negro. Again, it's Nathan Grimaldi that shuts down another attack. There's been almost a constant feature in the team of the week since his rise to form this season, Nathan Grimaldi, as Myron France has taken that away and can go forward himself. Glasson looking to pick out an option, and Fowler was waiting, but Rogers was there to deny any further danger. Again, Sydney FC are slowly creating more as the game goes on. They've been able to get some good looks away, but Blacktown City will be careful about giving Mitch Glasson as much space as what he's been offered so far. And of note really is that both these two teams have not conceded in their last two games. Will that streak break for one of them today? Malia plays it back to Berry. Blacktown City happy to slow things down a little bit with Malia, who has dropped deep to receive. Him and Travis Major play a very free-flowing, fluid role in this team. You'll see them buzzing around across either wings through midfield. Allowed a lot of positional freedom by Mark Crittenden, and you'll be hard-pressed to find two smarter footballers. As Jackson Brown had drifted offside, so that move comes to an end for Blacktown. As the game has now seemingly settled into a bit more of a natural rhythm after a very fast first 10 minutes. There are 4 other NPL men's games in action at the moment. We'll do our best to keep you across the score updates from those. And they all have important implications on the finals, of course. And there is a massive shock happening over at Marconi Stadium because St. George City have taken an early 1-0 lead. 10 minutes gone. That is huge for St. George City and also St. George FC, because that may well resign St. George FC to the bottom 2. And Napier will be cheering at that result as well. Sydney United also will be very happy because they're ahead a 0-0 over Spirit FC at the moment. Implications for the top 3 as well, as Jackson Brown felt he was pushed by Myron France. It's a turnover, and Sydney FC have it again. Zavadinos has stepped up this season. He usually was sitting on the bench behind Gus Hoofsloot, but has made that NPL starting keeper position his own in his absence, and did pick up a goalkeeper of the month not that long ago for how well he was playing between the sticks. There's been a big reason as to why Sydney FC have their 11 clean sheets on the year. There's Dion Negro looking long, but Zach Fowler knew he was offside, and I think looks back at his midfielder and wanted that pass a few seconds earlier. Tilt. O'Brien, and now Travis Major. He can get forward. An early cross. Mitch Malia is the target. They're still alive for Blacktown City. Malia going back to his midfield, and that cross is hung up, but Tyler Williams has that covered. Myron Francis touches a little heavy. Berry, Major, Jackson Brown. That's still going to be a Blacktown City throw. Still, most of the possession so far has been at the feet of Blacktown. As Grimaldi takes it wide for Nick O'Brien. Barry is asking for options. It's a little static at the moment from Blacktown as they just move it around their defence, trying to keep this Sydney FC team pinned back. You can see Major instructing traffic up ahead of him. And as Ben Berry is going back in, ask of some support. Now they go centrally for Jack O'Brien. He keeps it despite some pressure. A big result for another academy side yesterday, the Western Sydney Wanderers. Owen Lawal and Giorgio Hasarati firing to a 2-1 win over UNSW, which is another team that are chasing Sydney FC at the moment. It's very rare that both academy teams will be in the hunt for the finals. Usually only one is around, and more often than not that's been Sydney FC in recent memory. And we have not had an academy side play in the top six before. They both have certainly had their moments this year. Many have expected both Wanderers and Sydney to fall off, but that simply hasn't happened. I've got to worry about this throw in now. It's a long throw. Alu Kual tries to head that on, but had already gone out of play. Sydney have turned it out to Blacktown here, and again they've just struggled to hold possession. They've looked good when they do get it going, Sydney, but Blacktown are disrupting them in the middle third. It's when they get into the attacking third that the likes of Glasson, Headley, Fowler and France start to really show. Clearance gets it away. France has a second go at it, but Jack O'Brien is doing his best to keep it down this end, and Mitch Glasson has been able to take that with him. And there's some confusion here. Lockie Tilton, Cooper Rogers got it all mixed up, and Zach Fowler is able to be a bit of a nuisance to the Blacktown defence. Danger is more or less seen away. It's only going to be a throw-in, but could have been a little worse for Blacktown. That's a couple of just little moments they've had in defence, which you I'm used to really seeing in recent weeks. Very tight start here. You can sense that both teams have a sense of the occasion and the significance of this. These games late in the season can mean so much to how this plays out. Some good touches by Corey Cronin. He still has it on the edge. And now he has a go. Was searching for the side netting. Wasn't far away. And a nice little bit of inspiration from Corey Cronin at left back. Just deciding to take it upon himself to create some danger. In terms of possession, it is Blacktown City that have had more of the ball, but in shots and chances, it's undeniably Sydney FC that have had the higher volume. Nick O'Brien has his head up. Will use the simple option ahead to Jackson Brown. Again, this has been the pattern of play so far. Blacktown with the ball in this sort of position. And Sydney FC doing their best to force a bit of an error. As they go now on their press. O'Brien tries to force his way through. Doesn't get the foul he was looking for. Good stand-up defending by Ardian Sire. Here he is again. And that's going to be a goal kick. And Jack O'Brien defending that to perfection. Of course, there's also the prospect of the Australia Cup for some of these Sydney FC players. They are going to be in action very soon. The draw announced recently. These two teams are trying to, well, Sydney FC rather, are trying to do their best to bring some of these youngsters through, and they've got to worry about that. There's a foul. And now Blacktown City are saying that foul was much closer to the corner than where Alex Zevedinos currently has the ball stationed. I'm inclined to agree with them. The foul was barely a metre away from the goal line, but referees tend to be a little lax with deeper free kicks. O'Brien outstretched, unable to keep it in. That's Jack O'Brien. As mentioned, Jack O'Brien, his season has been very much impacted by injury, as it was last year. This is just his 7th start here today from his now 17 appearances. Fowler looking to swing that wide to Headley and does so. Numbers arriving. It's going to be Ty Headley teeing it up, but Glassard couldn't keep the strike down. Another big chance for Sydney FC as they move the ball from left to right. And again, it's Mitch Glasson on the end of another opportunity for the visitors. They are still yet to make Cooper Rogers really work. And he has been busy, but a lot of the shots have been off target so far. And that's, by my count, 3 shots already for Mitch Glasson in the first half hour. I don't know how many more Blacktown City can give him before he will put one away. And in the form he's been this season, it is almost surprising that he's yet to do so. Set a very high bar in 2026 has Mitch Glasson. The referee gets in the way, but does stay with Blacktown City, so it's all allowed to continue. Tilt. Adam Berry's making his move. As Major goes, he was tripped, and so Blacktown City have a free kick in a very dangerous position. Right on the corner of the area. And this is going to attract some serious attention now from Mitch Malia. has already scored a good free kick this season, has a well-documented history of set-piece goals. And you'd think this is a position that you can really consider shooting from. But just two in the wall for Zavadinos, it seems. Across all, the shot is equally a good option, but with a player like Mitch Malia, you can't rule him out. He goes for the strike, but too much power on it. Looking to try and lace it up and over the wall, use a bit of that natural swerve and dip. You see Sydney FC want to go short here, but Alu Kuol is going to try and hunt down this ball and force Zavadinos into an awkward clearance. Jackson Brown will get there, but enough from Marin France forces the errant pass. Ardian Sire has given it away. Jack O'Brien with Nick O'Brien and Travis Major. Returning back to Nick O'Brien. The flag has stayed down. Sydney FC get in the way. Stopped by Dion Negro. Tanaka offering an option. Again, Blacktown continue to swing the ball around, trying to poke and prod at any holes in the Sydney FC defence. They've held up well so far through just under 35 minutes. Grimaldi. Of course, while this is a Blacktown City home game, this is not their home venue. Landon Stadium currently undergoing some work. They'll have to adjust as that's a good ball in, but Mitch Malia didn't catch that as well as he would have hoped. It's still with Jack O'Brien through traffic. Didn't quite have enough power in the shot, and so Zavadinos able to make a fairly regulation stop. Mitch Malia had a decent look on the volley there. On his favoured left too, but was caught a little bit off balance as he was making a late run into the box. Fowler has given up on being involved in the play, knew he was offside. Grimaldi's heavy touch forces that clearance. Ardian Sire. Now Negro. Headley is battling with Tilt for possession, and it's Tilt that shepherds it out over the sideline. And the evolution of Lockie Tilt this season has been another subplot to Blacktown's 2026. He came into the year as a fairly inexperienced young defender, had a bit of a trial by fire as Blacktown went through some early struggles, but he has emerged as certainly one to watch. Was at the Wanderers Academy for a little bit, now has come across to Blacktown to embed himself into senior NPL men's football as Konai Tanaka has shaken free of his man. Tanaka bursting forward. And it was cleared away. Travis Major was queuing up for the cutback. He opted for the far post option instead, the Japanese fullback. Jackson Brown. Good defending by Marin France, and that will stay a Blacktown City throw. They want to go quickly with the Sydney FC defence caught off guard. Malia. Twisting and turning and searching for a way through Blacktown, but you can just see how many numbers Sydney FC have around the edge of the box. And so that forces Blacktown to go backwards. Zach Fowler was giving chase, and again it's awkward from Sydney FC. Up goes Milliner. Major looking to take his man one-on-one and put a ball in for Alu Kuol. It still might be there for Kuol as it ricochets in the box, but Zavadinos sweeps that up to just calm things down. Again, just Sydney FC, a couple of these clearances not looking convincing. inviting further pressure onto themselves from Blacktown. O'Brien trying to dispossess Headley, but it's Myron France that races away and gets out of the way of the Blacktown midfield. Still with Myron France. Fancy may have held on to it for a couple of extra touches there, but still Sydney FC in search of something that breaks the deadlock here at Valentine. Delivery is blocked, and so Sydney FC have this throw. Sydney FC have enjoyed a pretty good history recently against Blacktown City. They've not lost to Blacktown in their last 3 games against them. And I'll be hoping to continue that run. It was 2024 the last time that City beat Sydney FC. Ardian Sire has gotten free of 2 defenders and now can look at putting in a dangerous ball. It's build and it's onto the crossbar for Rogers. And Zach Fowler was just waiting and praying that would drop down for. In the end, a fingertip touch from Rogers puts it up and over the bar. And Sydney FC continue to try and turn the screw on this Blacktown defence. And they'll have a corner to try and do it from here. Cronin has gone across to take this. It's only just over 5 minutes to go of the first 45. It's deflected. It's Grimaldi that gets it away. As Sydney FC still have it in the box. Alu Kuol doing his defensive work and did it very cleanly. But Kodai Tanaka doesn't have much in the way of support and he's very nearly dispossessed. As Sydney FC don't allow Blacktown to get out. France. Here's Tyler Williams. Now Dion Negro. Back with Miles Milliner. Headley has found some space ahead and is shaken free of his first man. Now France is in the area. There's Grimaldi that gets in front of the shot and an important block too. Sydney continue to draw closer at creating some serious trouble for this defence. And so Ty Headley is going to take the resulting corner. A couple in quick succession for the visitors. Headley, it's low and it's flat and it's onto the crossbar. Tyler Williams trying to angle that goalwards was very close to doing so. And that was, you sense exactly what Sydney FC had in mind. It wasn't expected from Blacktown, and crossbar has been rattled twice in the last few minutes by Sydney. Very clear indication of their attacking intent. Blacktown riding the wave at the moment. Berry, how will Blacktown respond? Major. Tanaka. Major continues his run and Tanaka has a go! Kodai Tanaka with a real collector's item, but it's a sweet strike from their Japanese fullback. He wasn't picked up on the edge of the area and he made them pay. A goal of real quality from a player that's having a great 2026. As he now has his first goal for Blacktown City. And what a way to do it. Into the side netting, beyond the reach of Zavadinos. As Blacktown have had to ride the wave a little bit defensively. Sydney FC have struck the crossbar twice in the last 5 minutes, but it's all for naught as it's Kodai Tanaka's goal that has Blacktown City on the scoreboard, and how that goal might just swing the race for the finals. Lots of teams hoping Sydney FC drop points. Blacktown City are now on the live ladder, 2 points away. You can see Mitch Malia and Mark Crittenden having a bit of a friendly fight for the throw. Critto not letting Malia take it. And you sense Blacktown City will want to be smart here before this break ends. Let's try and get to the half a goal in front, knowing Sydney FC have been dangerous. Again, Kodai Tanaka, his season this year has deserved that goal. And he's been getting forward with plenty of impetus, plenty of enthusiasm, that combination with Travis Major. That's awkward from Zavadinos. Alu Kuol might get onto the end of this, but couldn't put his header close enough to Travis Major, as now Blacktown are really sensing they can try and create some problems as Kuol is fighting for possession and has won it. Malia. O'Brien has to go backwards before City go forwards. Malia going to ground and winning it cleanly. Major is up ahead for him. Here is Travis Major. 3 defenders for company, and that's just too many that are going to stand in his way despite his quality. Glasson is going to find Fowler here. Tilt is going to ground, but hasn't taken it away from Fowler. And it's Fowler bearing down on Rogers. And Sydney immediately responds right before the break. Exactly what they needed to do. And it's a big goal for Zach Fowler to bring Sydney FC back on level terms. As Sydney have huffed and puffed, and finally they've blown the house down. Striking the woodwork a couple of times, forcing some good saves. As Fowler with composure tucked that neatly under Rogers to put Sydney FC on level terms just before the halftime break. It's his 4th in first grade for the year. Zach Fowler, 7 in all competitions. As you fancy, that might be the last action of this half, an entertaining half. And no surprise that both teams have scored. You can just see Tilt went to ground on the slide, did get there, he got the touch, but it wasn't convincing and clear enough to stop Fowler, from keeping it. And then on the tight angle he had beaten Rogers, but Blacktown still might respond. O'Brien unable to keep that down. Still might have a couple of phases of play before the half ends. Glasson looking for that reverse around the corner pass. The flag will be up against Fowler as he came back from an offside position. And so that's halftime here at Valentine Sports Park. An entertaining half in a significant game for the finals race, as Kodai Tanaka's first goal of the season was quickly cancelled out by Zach Fowler a mere minute before the 45 elapsed. And so they head in a goal apiece at the break as Blacktown City 1, Sydney FC 1.
Every week, hundreds of thousands of people turn up around football grounds around New South Wales. Parents, kids, refs, coaches and volunteers. Cardiac incidents can happen to anyone at any time on the pitch.
Right now, not every club has a defibrillator.
And the ones that do are not always maintained or ready to use. In a critical moment, with a defib, that could save lives. That's why Football New South Wales, St John Ambulance and Toyota have come together for Every Beat Matters to help clubs around New South Wales to access defibrillators, cover maintenance and build a register so we know exactly where every unit is around the state. All you need to do is buy a ticket through raffle ticks. $5 can make a difference. Every ticket goes towards funding defibrillators and maintenance for clubs that need it most. A live fundraising board shows exactly how much is being raised. And every ticket you buy puts you in the draw to win a Toyota Corolla. One ticket, real impact. Help your club be ready when it matters. So buy your ticket today.
A commanding punch. O'Driscoll's touch for Chipman. And the ball's good. O'Driscoll lays it off for Burgess. And the deflection takes it in. Set piece not dealt with. And Manly United draw first blood on Friday night. With de Robillard and Ono, who's always an attacking outlet from left full-back. He goes for goal himself. Not dealt with by Curto. And tapped in by Coop. And Manly are now full of confidence. Evans down the right. Coop there again! 2 in 2 minutes! They're still providing enough going forward to really look an attacking threat. De Robillard on the ball. Looking for goal himself. And it's going to be tucked in by Holm.
First time ball trying to pick up Meyer. Figueira hit it straight into him. Can he get it past him? Franco Meyer. That is an exceptional finish. Good ball in, and the header from Kienese. What a finish. Risky pass there, almost getting a foot was through for Aramugo. They've done it. Robert Aramugo.
Pavlovich. Katrip's got a little bit of space here. Mustafi watching, waiting for the right time to approach. And now he engages. Katrip with a burning bit of pace. And it's a great goal for the Wanderers. Awan Lawal stoops in to head home. But first, this free kick. Anderson back. Hangs it up. And the header is in from Morrison. 2 for the Wanderers. And coming in to pick the pocket cleverly. That's well done by Chetinich. Pavlovic returns it to Chetinich. It is 3 for the Wanderers. Deliberate. Here's Petratos, given away by Armson. Pearson Kasawaya breaking forward. He feeds it through Awan Lawal. Only one outcome when Awan Lawal has the ball in that territory. And it's 4 for...
Out to Michael Cooter, and Rory Jordan's off and gone down the outside on that left-hand side as he's tracked across by Lockie Campbell. Looks to hold him up. Rory Jordan, well, 33 seconds in. They transitioned like lightning down the left there. Mount one more raid on the NSW defence, and it gets a deflection on the way through. And I think you'll find Presley Ortiz, as he looks to make it 3 for Apia. Presley Ortiz, he doesn't make mistakes from there. Presley Ortiz gets number 2 of the night. Falls short there, and he's onside. Presley Ortiz as he skips towards the 18-yard box, tracked by Campbell. 1v1, Tristan Prendergast. Presley Ortiz gets his hat trick. The attacking players in teams that get all the kudos, and they look to pinch one back now. Union NSW.
Webster, wide for Saba. Towards the line he goes, takes on McGing, works it in. There's bodies there. There's a goal to St George City. There's the opener on 48 minutes.
You feel as though Sutherland really aren't controlling the midfield at the moment as Najar breaks forward. Tamulkovsky puts it past Nizic. Interesting starting position of Tariq Maya on the edge of the area. Olsen steps up. And Olsen strikes it down the middle. Sutherland are level. There it goes. Cuts it back. Olsen arriving. Olsen buries it bottom corner. Some finish from Nick Olsen. Arriving late to the scene. Jordi Perez now to seal it. 3-on-1. Perez has Olsen to his left. Olsen for the hat-trick. And the win. Sutherland make it 3-1.
Fujita, Luke Quall gets a touch, and now Major can look to play it forwards. That's an excellent ball. And a chance to shoot Kunyul. It's gone through the goalkeeper, and it's an early lead. Malia. Dipped onto the crossbar. Quall with the header, and it bounces in. They have a second goal. Blacktown
Welcome back to the second half of football here at Valentine Sports Park, where it is Blacktown City 1, Sydney FC 1. And it was an entertaining first half that threatened to have goals, and we eventually built all the way towards it. 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, one to Korai Tanaka. A real sweet effort from the edge of the area, which was quickly cancelled out by Zach Fowler, converting a one-on-one opportunity, which means it is all even in this all-important game in the race for the top 6. Qual looking to make an immediate impact. It's Sydney FC that have possession, and we'll take this moment to update you on the scores from around the ground. Sydney United lead 2-0 over Spirit FC. Meanwhile, Rockdale and Manly is locked at a goal apiece. St George City still leading over Marconia. Another really interesting result brewing at the Palace, as Blacktown City have it back at their feet again. And of course, Sydney FC will be mindful that if Manly were to win, and Sydney FC were to keep this game as it is, Manly would actually leapfrog them on the table into 6th. Lots of implications arising out of this one, as Berry is using Major in support. Now Korai Tanaka finds him again. Major at the byline looking for the cross. Sydney FC stop it from creating some problems. Tanaka is beaten to the ball by Glasson as Negro turns it away, and Glasson again. This is good one-touch football by Sydney. Negro exchanging with France, and now an opportunity for Cronin to get forward. France has it back at his feet. Wheels out a little bit. And Negro has a go, and Rogers had to be at full stretch to pluck that out of the sky. May have been rising over the bar in any event, but that's good keeping. Sydney FC were good value for the goal they got at the end of the half, even though they had conceded first. It's them who have rattled the crossbar twice, had more shots, more on target certainly. Blacktown will still be disappointed with the fact that they led and then just had only a couple of minutes to get to half-time in the lead. Qual fighting for possession, jumping over his man, but had pushed Marin France to the ground. Ardian Sire. Tyler Williams. They go back to Zavadinos, and he's almost caught in it, but calmly and coolly gets out from pressure. Attack breaks down for Sydney, so they can get going again here, Blacktown. Tilt. Caleb Jackson-Brown is trying to create some space for himself. Nathan Grimaldi. Tilt. A speculative pass forward, and Mark Crittenden has his arms up in disapproval at that option. Ardian Sire has got behind Korai Tanaka, but Nathan Grimaldi clean as ever, just poking it away. And Major plays it on for Malia. Alu Qual is waiting in the box, but Malia can think about going himself. He's cutting it back. It's Jack O'Brien. A golden opportunity for Blacktown. He couldn't hit the target. That's good work from City. They played through the back. They found Malia in space, and someone like Jack O'Brien, you'd absolutely want to be in that position. Unfortunately, it comes to nothing for City. Headley. O'Brien is giving him a torrid time in possession, not making it easy for him, but he's found the wide option in Fowler. Here is Zach Fowler. He's going to try the spectacular, but that's actually collected a poor spectator unknowingly in the back as he's going to oblige and play ball boy. Berry onto Kodai Tanaka's feet. This is where he likes to be dangerous. But Sydney FC clear it, and Ty Headley's there to win the second ball, but Jack O'Brien has pinched it from him. Malia moving it on for O'Brien, now Major. O'Brien again, Kodai Tanaka trying to skip free of his man, but touch was a little loose. Fowler and Grimaldi having a fistful of each other's shirt, and the referee says it was coming both ways. And Grimaldi sportingly helps Fowler back to his feet. Physical play allowed to go on, letting the boys tussle. Jackson Brown in for Alu Kuol. I think that header took a deflection prior to getting to Zavadinos, so it was fairly easy for him to deal with. Pizzuti. Now Dion Negro. A check of the shoulder from Mara in France, and he realizes he has some space to work with as he gets past the first defender. And two beaten, but there is Nathan Grimaldi, as clean as ever. Mitch Glasson decides not to use the overlapping run, instead uses William Pizzuti. It's Jackson Brown's headed clearance that deals with that cross. Now Ty Headley, the step overs, looking for that crossing angle. Does get between defenders. Headley, good save by Rogers. And he just wriggled free and created half an inch there, Ty Headley. And had a snapshot at goal that was palmed away by Rogers. It's a couple of little moments early. Again, the second half has continued much in the same way the first did. Open, free-flowing, plenty of chances. And still it remains a goal each as Major sizes up his man, but Pizzuti stands in the way. O'Brien at the second attempt gets through. And they might think about the long throw. Instead they go quickly. Major is on the byline, cutting it back. It needs to be tapped in, but it's cleared away as Mitch Malia would have thought he had an easy goal waiting for him. And it's a miracle stop on the line to deny the Blacktown City winger another goal on his year. I don't think he made a clean connection. In any event, it was goal bound, but it was a little soft, and that invited the Sydney FC defender to come from behind and clear that away. But another good opportunity for Blacktown. The corner is in and is on its way, but that'll be another one coming for Blacktown City. Just having a look back at the replay, it was, I think, Marin France who made that clearance. And here's the corner from Malia. It's Major, it's pinballing around, and Major is still fighting for the ball, but Sydney FC get it out of their own box. As Kodai Tanaka, the second phase. Zavadinos goes up and claims, and that's good goalkeeping by Alex Zavadinos through traffic, and plenty of players were in his way, but he wasn't to be denied, and he rolls that out for Sydney FC to have possession again. Williams is tripped, and that's Jack O'Brien who's the infringing party, and so Mark Crittenden is going to go to his bench here. First change of the game is coming the way of the hosts, and it'll be Jack O'Brien who will be replaced by Maxim Yej. So a like-for-like swap there for Blacktown City. Midfielder on for midfielder, as Jack O'Brien gets a worthy applause for a good 55 minutes worth of work in just his 7th start of the season. He was on the bench last week, and so they're still getting him back to his full strength, Jack O'Brien. Major didn't have the leap to keep that in from Rogers, but recognises the good vision of his young keeper. Pizzuti down the line. Fowler and Grimaldi resume their battle. It's been one to really watch. There is Fowler again, but he's chested that out of play, and Grimaldi quickly takes the throw. Blacktown back underway. Tanaka wants the throw. It'll go Glasson's way. Nice win by Mitch Glasson. Ty Headley is not going to beat Adam Berry to that bouncing ball. Pizzuti. Glasson couldn't play through Yej, although the clearance is lashed up by Nick O'Brien as Major is fighting for possession. There's going to be a question as to which way this will go. It is a Blacktown throw. Nick O'Brien checks the shoulder. Can't play between two Sydney defenders, but he's won it back, and Quoll is there to help him. Rogers. High, looping up towards the halfway line, and Alu Quoll. It's Milliner that comes down with it. It's still aerial ping pong between the two teams. Tilt brings it a little lower. As Jackson Brown slides in, and that's out of play. So a Blacktown throw just inside their own half. But it was late drama last time these two teams played each other. As mentioned, it finished 2-2. But both of Sydney FC's goals came in the last 10 minutes. Marin France and Mitch Glasson in the 80th and 83rd minute respectively. Both of those men are out on the pitch today, and Mitch Glasson has certainly had his fair share of chances. Marin France has been busy as well. He's already saved a goal. Yej, I think, had a bit more time there. Maxim Yej was looking for Kodai Tanaka, but I think Sydney FC have wisened up to Kodai Tanaka's bombing runs. They seem to be sitting off him a little more and not committing as far forward on the wing. But what it is doing with Kodai Tanaka getting forward is it's keeping Mitch Glasson back, as he's the winger on this side that has to track anytime Kodai Tanaka gets forward. Here is Glasson now. Yej. Alu Quoll giving chase. That will be a Blacktown throw, and so again they make their way into the attacking third here. Blacktown have probably had the better chances in the early stages of this second half, as Quoll is trying to seal his man out. Couldn't link up with a teammate. Yej does have it, and Yej puts in a dangerous ball. Much Malia was waiting again at the back post. This time he doesn't have the chance. There's Headley. A bit awkward for France to get to, but he does take it. Has Corey Cronin offering the forward option, but elects to go into midfield instead. And so here is Zinedine Adinsaya. Adinsaya again, but Berry is all over him. Adinsaya shrugs him off easily. France is tripped, and so it'll be Sydney FC. They go quickly on this free kick. Headley with the step overs. It goes to ground. The referee has no hesitation, and Ty Headley has won Sydney FC a penalty. Had committed Caleb Jackson Brown to the challenge, sold him with the step overs, and once Jackson Brown lunged in, Headley drew the contact, and so a penalty is on its way for Sydney FC. as they try and make it goals either side of half-time to take the lead for the first time this afternoon. I don't think Jackson Brown can have too many complaints. You can see Headley sized him up, beat him with the step-overs, and then it was Jackson Brown that went to ground. And that is good work by the Sydney FC number 10. And it'll be Mitch Glasson from the spot up against Cooper Rogers. Glasson, confident penalty. Down the middle he went. And Sydney FC take the lead for the first time this afternoon, and it's an important lead at that. A crucial 3 points they have right now in their quest to stay in the top 6. With all the teams behind them watching this game. And so on the live ladder, that means it is Manly United, the closest team behind, who are currently on 35 points. Sydney FC on the live ladder on 39. And that is thanks to Mitch Glasson's 9th goal of 2026. A very confident penalty from Glasson. Again, has been so important. He's been buzzing about. He's been threatening to score, especially in the first half where he had a few chances. And he'll be glad to see one hit the back of the net. And now it is Blacktown City who find themselves down on the scoreboard as the gap widens to 8 points to the finals places. They've got a free kick here to work with. That's a good ball into. There is Qual, and Major was at the second attempt. And Alu Qual was in a great position. 6 yards in. Put his contact on target. I dare say if he got proper contact on the header, there was not much Zavadinos could have done about that. Would have been scrambling across his line to make a miracle save from short range. Headley has it again. Sydney FC players left and right making runs forward for... Here is Headley. Ardian Sire lines up. Just sort of reaching for that strike. Yej. And some resilience by Sydney FC. They had their moment in the first half early where they struck the crossbar. It just wouldn't fall for them in front of goal, and you'd think it was going to be one of those games where eventually the chances dry up and they didn't take them when they came, but they're able to keep the pressure up on attack and now find themselves in front as Mitch Glasson was pressing with some real intensity. As mentioned, Sydney FC continuing their quest to become the first team, the first A-League Academy team to play NPL New South Wales finals. Berry. Tilt. And tilt again. Down the line for Travis Major, and now Blacktown City try and make their move. Berry, Qual with the flick on. Again, it's an off-target header. But still, Blacktown City, they haven't been short of chances. There will be opportunities for them to go out and get this second goal. And as mentioned, they probably had the better of the chances early in this second half. France going up for it. Looks like Jimmy Van Wieren is preparing a pair of substitutions. Waiting in the wings, looking to add some fresh legs. Cronin. Grimaldi stops that cross from getting to Fowler. And now Yej. Oh, and that's a bit needless from Nick O'Brien. Shoving his man to the ground, and now Milner has taken exception to that. As Myron Francis on the deck was the recipient of a little extra shove from Nick O'Brien, and I think his head hit the deck a little awkwardly as he fell. Meanwhile, Jimmy Van Wieren has two substitutions that are waiting to come on. I wonder if one of those is for Myron France. It'll be Ryan Buttigieg and Joseph Sikora. And now Maxim Yej is just moving Zach Fowler out of the way. I'm surprised Myron France didn't need to receive treatment there. He really did hit the ground quite hard. And I think he's about to be substituted in any case. So it will be Zinedine Ardiansaya and Myron France coming off, and they share a high five. Ryan Buttigieg and Joseph Sikora to come on. So two fresh players on for Jimmy Van Wieren to try and keep this lead up as he puts more players actually in midfield and attack. Sensing that maybe one goal isn't going to be enough with the way this game is going. I might be inclined to agree with him because Blacktown City are coming with a real threat. Here is Tilt now. Again, Sydney FC just sitting back and sitting off a little bit. O'Brien with Quall. Again, Malia was playing off the shoulder. Major. Tilt. Again, may have just dallied on it, but still has it and drops it down for Jackson Brown. Blacktown searching for a way through this set defence, and Major puts in a good ball, and now Yej has a strike, but couldn't wrap his foot around it. Again, Blacktown City create a half-decent look at goal, but can't find the good shot at the end of it as Buttigieg. Crossfield switch is broken up by Jackson Brown. Tanaka. And Grimaldi. There is Tilt. This was much of the pattern of possession that Blacktown saw in the first half around the halfway line with their defenders, as that's an errant pass from Nathan Grimaldi. You won't see too many of those. Yeah, she felt as if he was fouled, but Blacktown still have possession, and they've got Sydney FC tracking back. Although Malia's pass is easily taken away by Buttigieg. He has it at a second attempt. This time it's Tay Headley that has the defensive intervention. Good challenge by Jackson Brown. Berry. Looking for Major. Again, it's Cronin. They're really trying that right-hand side of Blacktown City, but the defence is well set. Glasson stays on his feet, has Fowler up ahead in support. Also has Sikora on this far side. Goes to the left with Dion Negro. Fowler is overlapping Negro. And Buttigieg had it taken off his toes by Nick O'Brien. It's Blacktown who can race forward. Nick O'Brien still has possession. Major squaring his man up and looking to go one-on-one. You can see Blacktown, they want that early cross to Alu Quall, but Sydney are getting really tight to him. They might be looking to really dig their heels in defensively, Sydney. It's going to invite a bit of pressure. Blacktown have plenty of attacking weapons. O'Brien looking to get behind, and Caleb Jackson Brown has done that, and now it's Blacktown's turn to shout for a penalty, and it's been given. Caleb Jackson Brown, who gave away a penalty, has now earned his side one as he got behind on the overlap. They were really testing that right-hand side for the last 5 minutes, Sydney FC. It's Nick O'Brien's pass that unlocks it, and he just got the other side of his defender. there, Caleb Jackson, defender and ball. And there was enough contact from Mitch Glasson as he is adjudged to have pushed him in the back. As now it will be Blacktown City's turn to try and put one away from the spot. And it's going to be at the feet of their veteran, Travis Major. Alex Zavadinos stands in goal. An important moment this in the context of the season, in the context of the finals race. Major from the spot tucks it away with ease, sends Zavadinos the wrong way and lets him know about it on his way past. And Travis Major's prolific 2026 continues. Goal number 12 for 2026 for the mayor of Blacktown. And we're back on level terms again. And now we might be set for a very entertaining final 20 minutes here at Valentine. Said it was going to be dangerous for Sydney FC to sit back and absorb that much pressure. And in the end, the pressure told. And Sydney have paid the ultimate price. And so how this game might swing again. It's been a real topsy-turvy 70-plus minutes so far. And it looks like Sydney FC are going to go to the bench again. Kaylin Marshall-White is waiting. I'll have to worry about this attack, though. All the momentum is going to be with Blacktown right now. Grimaldi intercepts that pass, and it looks like Blacktown are going to have more of the possession going their way again. As Jackson Brown is going to have to make a lung-busting run to get to that, and he decides it's not worth his troubles. And so here comes Kaylin Marshall-White. It's going to be Dion Negro that makes way. And so his afternoon in midfield comes to an end. And as it was all the way back when these two teams met in April, it is currently 2 each, but I would be surprised if one of these teams doesn't find a third before the 90 is done. Yej making it difficult, and Blacktown have won a quick throw. Major up to Qual, and Qual is searching for Malia, and Malia! Blacktown go bang bang, and it's on the feet of their two veterans, Travis Major and now Mitch Malia. An emphatic strike on that wand of a left foot from Mitch Malia. Alu Qual doing well to set that up. And he just stayed alive to the play, Mitch Malia. Travis Major went quickly on the throw. Qual flicked it on. And Mitch Malia, once he wrapped his left foot around that, there was only going to be one result from short range. And now the top six race swings again, as Blacktown City on the live ladder, as they were when they took the lead, are now within 2 points of Sydney FC in sixth position. And you can just see Mark Crittenden on the sideline is urging his team to get up. He doesn't want them to sit back and invite pressure. Kodai Tanaka, the headed clearance. Sydney FC are coming. Grimaldi goes up and Jackson Brown gets that away. The intensity is going to shift into another gear in these last 15 minutes, as I think Grimaldi had been fouled there. And a second substitution of the afternoon is about to take place for Mike Crittenden. Seb Hayward is about to enter. Meanwhile, Junior Conde is also another player that's going to come on for Jimmy Van Weeren. I think that sub is going to get processed now. And Nathan Grimaldi just getting a quick sip of water. And he's worked extremely tirelessly. And so Mitch Glasson will depart for Conde. That's going to be attacker off for attacker, as Jimmy Van Weeren goes about chasing this game, but actually it looks like Conde is going towards the back four, and that might prompt a bit of a reshuffle from Sydney FC. And so Nathan Grimaldi has come off to receive treatment. He'll be coming back on, and it's Alu Kuol that's been substituted. It won't be 3 straight games with a goal for him, but he picks up the assist for what is right now the match winner for Blacktown City. He's really added a lot to this team since joining Alu Kuol. That's a goal involvement in each of his last 3 games now. It's just been an added presence to join Major and Malia. That's a good header from Major. It might just get to Malia. A fourth would almost seal it, you'd think, for Blacktown if they were to get it. And you'd sense this is just a situation of game management from City. They have the cool heads, the veteran heads, that know how to work in these sort of games. Meanwhile, Rockdale have equalised. Manly have equalised against Rockdale. That game's still at a goal each. So on the live ladder, that means that Manly are 1 point behind Sydney FC. A win for them in that over at Illingdon Sports Centre would swing Manly into the top 6. Tilt. Fowler giving chase. Tilt goes all the way back to his keeper. How can this young Sydney FC team respond? The chips have been down a lot for them this season. They're staring down the barrel of 5 games in a row without a win. They rocketed into the top 6 off the back of a really proficient June. The form has dried up, and now they are down away from home after leading by 2-1. Didn't take long for Blacktown to respond, and when they did respond, they made quick work of it. It's launched down the sideline by Tilt. This will get to Travis Major. He prevents the goal kick. They'll allow Sydney FC to take the throw, but they won't be too displeased with it because it's deep in their own half. And there's a bit of a wait for the ball to come back here. Sydney FC are in an awkward spot. Williams lashes at the clearance to get it away. It's Grimaldi that picks up the loose ball, but his pass is taken by Buttigieg. Now Junior Conde. Buttigieg in search of Joseph Sikora. Bounces down to him. He's going to go one-on-one with Kodai Tanaka. That's a good ball in. It's almost gone all the way through. Inches away from getting onto that was Kalen Marshall-White. And Zach Fowler was in with half a chance as well. And as Cooper Rogers was caught sort of watching and hoping that would roll past him. And I think the referee is just going to have a bit of a chat here to Blacktown City about not taking too much time off the clock. Meanwhile, Mark Crittenden is going to go to a reliable substitute in Jacob Maniti. Had to start through large patches of the early season for Blacktown, did Jacob Maniti, with all the injuries, and now has found himself on the bench, but they can rely on him to come on and manage the game in midfield. Tanaka does get the throw, and that's welcome news for Blacktown City. And so I wonder if they'll go now on this change. Jacob Maniti has made his way up to halfway, and so now that change goes through. We'll see who he's going to replace. It looks like they're going to bring on 2 players now. And so it is Mitch Malia. He exits the game, 79 minutes gone. And it's his goal that has Blacktown City in front. Goal number 7 of the campaign for him. It looks like also Lachlan Henderson will be entering very soon. And so Maniti is going to take a bit of a wider role. And Hayward, that's a good first touch to keep it forward. Berry putting it back from whence it came. It's Hayward that gets the touch to Maniti and Berry. Now Yej and Tanaka. Major tried the fancy flick. It was well read. It stays a Blacktown City throw. Again, this is the sort of area they'll want the ball to be in the attacking third, out of play, more valuable seconds off the clock. O'Brien was searching for Major, couldn't find him. Tilt, it's Hayward that gets the touch. He tumbles to the ground. As Zavadinos in getting to Conde, and Maniti had grabbed Sydney FC winger's shirt. Sydney going quickly. Cronin. Williams, and now they work their way through the centre of the park. Too close to Kodai Tanaka, though. Tanaka again with the ball at his feet. He's had quite the afternoon, has Kodai Tanaka. Has been making this side of the pitch his own, and now there's a question as to which way this is going. Sydney FC wanted it theirs. It's last touch off Miles Milliner. And 9 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Blacktown, last time they had a 2-0 lead. Last time these two teams met entering the final 10 minutes, it was Sydney FC that scored 2 goals around this time of the game. Dropping points from winning positions was an unfortunate feature of Blacktown's early season. They've wiped that away, though, and that run of form has seen them rise up the table into the position they find themselves now, where they are a real chance of finals football. Grimaldi, Maniti, O'Brien and Yej and Major. Blacktown trying to keep the ball as much as they can and not sit back. The counter-attack they'll have to be cautious about, though. Fowler. Berry is on the back of him. O'Brien's on the front of him. Keeps possession despite the pressure, and Sydney FC start to inch their way forward. Grimaldi has barely put a foot wrong this afternoon. A lot of clean challenges, has been good in the air. Headley, he can certainly create some magic. He'd already created the penalty for Sydney FC. Jackson Brown's clearance is good enough. The sideline will be fine for Blacktown City. And Fowler is going to take this throw. He's team striker. Buttigieg. Headley trying to get between and has won his side. A free kick in a very dangerous position. This is going to really test Blacktown now. Again, it's Ty Headley that is proving to be a very tricky customer for this Blacktown defence. So hard to get the ball off. This Ty Headley keeps it very close to him. Rarely makes an errant touch. And so now it's going to be one of either Headley or perhaps Corey Cronin, the left footer of Cronin, or the right foot of Ty Headley. And this is a red alert for Blacktown City. What can Sydney FC do from here? Looking for a response. A lot of anticipation over this free kick. Headley and Cronin. It will be Headley. He was looking to go the keeper's side and pick out that top corner, but he swung it wide of the goal. And Blacktown are able to get away from that moment. Into the final 5 minutes now. Blacktown 5 minutes plus stoppages away from one of their biggest results of the season. Marshall White wants to take this throw in quickly. Berry with the big up and under towards Major, who is toiling hard with these Sydney FC defenders. They're not making it easy, as Yej is looking for Hayward. Williams does well to move it wide for Marshall White. Tanaka returns serve up to Major, and Major has temporarily wriggled free, but it's only sky blue shirts around Major, and would have worked a miracle to get out of that position. As Conde's pass is well overhit, and you know exactly what Cooper Rogers is going to do now. Take as much time as he can and wait for Sydney FC to force him to pick it up. Fowler. Grimaldi is going to make this difficult for him, and again it's Nathan Grimaldi, another tackle for him. I've lost count now of how many times Nathan Grimaldi has stopped a Sydney FC player from getting through. He's been one of the best defenders in the competition in his last couple of months, and now he's going toe-to-toe with Fowler. As again Grimaldi gets that away. Williams. Yes, is told not to foul and does exactly that. And gets a big applause from Mark Crittenden and the Blacktown City coaching staff, and rightly so. Throw in is perfect for Blacktown City right now. Grimaldi is going to just launch this down and play for a bit of field position. Now Seb Hayward has won it in a good position. Sydney FC give it away as they play out from the back. Maniti bombing forward, looking to go across goal. And I dare say if that was the first half, Travis Major would have been there to tap that in. But he has worn the wares of 87.5 minutes worth of action. But that was just a brief mistake from Sydney FC. They've got to be careful as they go for this that Blacktown are still looking to keep the ball themselves, as Tilt makes no mistake with that clearance and clears that out towards the motorway. Check of the shoulder from Williams. Milner. Cronin. Milner again. You can just see Blacktown, they are really hounding Sydney FC in possession. They're not sitting back into their defensive shape. They want to make Sydney FC work for it, and these are valuable seconds that Blacktown are taking off the clock for Sydney. And of course, with this win, if of course it does stay like this, Blacktown will secure their mathematical safety. And it seems crazy to even think about this team spending so long and more than half the season in the bottom two. But that was their reality. And they are a few minutes away from being within a win of playing finals. Maniti, well positioned to intercept. Blacktown actually have some numbers forward here as Nick O'Brien had shoved Tyler Williams out of the way and might count himself a little lucky there not to have received a further talking to or a booking for kicking the ball away. I think the referee just wanted to play quickly, and that's almost an awkward pass from Williams back to Zavadinos. And Zavadinos had come across actually to retrieve the ball and wasn't positioned centrally. That could have been awkward for Sydney. Hayward. Some tired legs out there now for both teams. Hayward is fresh though, as he does get around Pizzuti, and still is with Hayward. Blacktown looking for the dagger. saved by Zavadinos. It falls for Travis Major. Lashed at it, but it will be a corner. As we are now 90 minutes gone here at Valentine Sports Park, a corner is certainly welcome for City. As Liège will be in no hurry to take this. We'll see how much time is going to be added on. I think that's 4 minutes of time. And so 4 minutes for Blacktown to get what will be 3 points, but it'll feel like 6. Maniti and Liège just standing over this offensive. They're going to try and keep this in the corner. They will. And so Liège and Maniti battling for it. Condé is also giving chase. Liège and Condé are fighting for it. It's almost like a rugby ruck down there. That's how tight they are. And I think that's a free kick given to Blacktown, has it? Or rather, Sydney FC seem to be fighting over it. It's hard to tell which way this has gone. I think the referees are going to conference about this. Again, it's much to the benefit of Blacktown. I think this may be a drop ball here. And so we'll see what happens next. It's actually a Blacktown free kick. Buttigieg was playing with the ball on the ground. Oh, sorry, Condé was playing with the ball on the ground. Liège and Maniti resume their quest to keep the ball in the corner, but Liège had taken over the line. But what they have done is waste a minute of the 4 allocated. O'Brien is allowed to take that. Major had thought about coming, and now it's Travis Major. The flag has stayed down for him. Again, Major takes it this time towards the near corner. He felt he was dragged back. It's Sydney FC that have it. Hayward continuing to use his fresh legs to press up towards Fowler. Condé is on that far side. That's where he goes. The pass was just behind him, though, as that attack comes to an end for Sydney. This has been quite the incredible run for Blacktown City. They are staring down the barrel now of 4 straight wins, including 5 unbeaten. It is some run that they have put together, and they are seemingly now looking like they're going to hit form at the right time of the season. They are coming home as strong as ever, as Mark Crinton has engineered this team with some readjustments, some smart signings. Alu Kuol, one of them, was involved today with Marlia's goal. The development of young players, the return and continuous reliance on his more experienced players. And yes, he's going to have a go. Oh, incredible from Maxime Liège from past halfway. And that is a way to seal all 3 points. As Blacktown get their 4th on the afternoon, and that is going to be the pick of the bunch, and it may well be their goal of the season, not just in quality but maybe in significance. Zavadinos had committed forward, and Liège saw him as Sydney FC try and respond, but that is going to be all 3 points, staying with Blacktown City. Maxime Liège has been involved more in keeping the ball in the corner. That time he just had a go. And if you don't buy the ticket, you don't win the lottery, and he has certainly won there. Major, you'd think he might run this towards the corner now. He does. Well, instead he wins the throw, and the Blacktown fans are going to enjoy the last few minutes of this because they can now touch finals football. Blacktown City It is just 2 points away as they take all 3 points from Sydney FC in 6th position. A flurry of goals. They were down 2-1, and they made a real effort of this comeback. And it was an emphatic performance in the second half. Maxim Yez's halfway goal, the cherry on top. And that is one they'll be celebrating long into the night, as that may be one of their biggest results of the season. And so it's 4 straight wins for Mark Crittenden's men. And the rest of the competition, if they weren't on notice already, are certainly on notice now. The boys from Blacktown are coming. And so it has ended at Valentine Sports Park, Blacktown City 4, Sydney FC 2.